happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, guys, you're definitely going to want to check this one out, as we got that Fox News The 5 host Jessica Tarlov barely making it back from her break and already causing more chaos on the set Fox News The 5, as we got her Trump derangement syndrome spiraling out of control, and she's working on her already very strong case of being kicked off the show in this newest update, guys. I'm excited to get into it, so we're not straight into it. Just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Okay, lots to get to here. Jesse, is there any better representation of Biden? In the speech, he's talking about rural broadband, okay? And he's talking about how great rural broadband is. And then he was pressed for numbers. How many people, Mr. President, have been connected? Zero. And you know how much they spent?
No way.
$42 billion.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's just one example.
Right. So as the resident historian at the table, I have a bachelor's in history. That's the only reason.
So do I.
Same.
Darn it.
Didn't know that.
The third string resident historian at the table. I'm going to give you a non-biased legacy assessment of Joe Biden. All right. This is what history will remember Joe Biden for.
Okay.
COVID got him in office. Oldest president of all time. Afghanistan withdrawal.
Yeah.
Ukraine, illegal immigration, inflation, industrial policy, lawfare, coup, pardon.
Crime.
That's it. That's it.
Crime.
And he'll just be a sleepy little intermission between Donald Trump's terms. Because this wasn't the roaring 20s. You had all-time highs in suicides, homelessness, drug overdoses under Joe Biden. The only bright spot, because I am so fair as a historian, the stock market and Bitcoin. But for the rest of the country, the American dream was out of reach. Not my words. Those are the words of Kamala Harris. And it's because no one could afford to buy a house, no one got a raise in 4 years, and everybody was saddled with credit card debt. Now, the job gains, which I'm sure Jessica is going to bring up, are a mirage. Most of those job gains were snapback jobs from the pandemic, and a third of those jobs were from foreigners. We talked with Halperin the other day, and he said Joe Biden might not even get a presidential library. And now he's saying Joe Biden might not even get paid speaking gigs afterwards.
Who's going to pay him?
Who's going to...
Oh my goodness, guys. That's Jesse Waters right there. And I feel like he's just calling it how it is. Biden trying to come out and clean up or polish off his legacy, his record as a president. But frankly, guys, the American dream was unattainable underneath Biden. His own VP said it. I mean, come on, you guys. Bidenomics failed us.
And now he's saying Joe Biden might not even get paid speaking gigs afterwards.
Who's going to pay him?
Who's going to pay him? So I really don't care about these speeches. He reads this off a teleprompter as people wrote it. It's meaningless. I want to see the final press conference that all presidents do at the end of their presidency, so I can see our very own stupid son of a bitch, Peter Doocy, tangle with the big guy one last time.
I would pay. Jessica.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited to see that too. Pete Doocy always gets underneath their skin so bad, especially that KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, White House press secretary. Oh my goodness. I'm excited to see that one too, though.
Peter Doocy, tangle with the big guy one last time.
I would pay. Jessica, your name was invoked several times. Let me turn it over to you to talk about how great the jobs are and how many doors they knocked on.
Don't mock me in my doors. It's still sensitive. The legacy of Joe Biden will be obviously complicated by how this ended and with Kamala losing, but he oversaw the best recovery in the G7 by far and away. Inflation in this country is lower. Unemployment in this country is lower. He expanded the number of people who got access to affordable health care, Medicaid.
At some point, you just really, it blows my mind. Does she hear the things she's saying? And second point, does she believe the lies she's putting out there? I mean, come on, this whole inflation baloney that she's trying to still push on us and sell us. I mean, she's not affected by Bidenomics, the inflation right now. So she lives in a false reality bubble. But American folks, we hit the grocery store, we hit the gas station. I don't care what this Jessica Tarlov comes on here with the phony stat. We're still feeling it hard. You know what I mean? I'm shoveling out way more paycheck than I have coming in. Come on now, y'all.
He expanded the number of people who got access to affordable health care, Medicaid expansion. We were producing more oil than any other time in world history under Joe Biden. The stock market, it was generous of you to give it. Donald Trump is out there trying to pretend that it's because he's coming back, that's why everyone is so hyped about this. We have been hitting record after record after record under Joe Biden. In terms of the jobs that you say are mirages, we can talk about all the revisions that happened under other presidents as well. But even if you removed all of the jobs that we lost during COVID, the snapback jobs, I think is what you called them, under the Biden-Harris administration, we still got more jobs at a faster clip than we did under the Trump administration. It's just a fact. Look it up, historian number 3 at the table.
All right.
Joey,
well, it's because people have to work 2 or 3 more jobs than they had to under Trump. So, yeah, compare the number of jobs.
Hey, he's exactly right. Definitely having to pick up way more. If you don't have to pick up another job, you have to pick up more shifts. I can personally account to that. That's crazy.
Because people have to work 2 or 3 more jobs than they had to under Trump. So, yeah, compare the number of jobs to the number of people working. Everybody's working 2 jobs just to make it through. I gave $67,000 for a truck in 2020. It's $120,000 now. I sold my house in 2023 for 120% more than I gave for it. And I just moved that money into another house that's way overpriced. So I love when DC or Karine Jean-Pierre loves to talk about how inflation's come down. But if you're spending all of your money to be able to get somewhere and live somewhere, it really doesn't matter if eggs even out. You still are broke, and that's the problem. I'm not going to sit here and give you a million reasons why Joe Biden created the worst economy, because I don't know that. I'm not an economist. But I live in Calhoun, Georgia. I live in a small town, a rural town. I've got more cows and corn for neighbors than people. And every single one of those people felt this economy in the worst of ways. And that's not a lie.
Come on now.
Charade.
That's the fact, and that's how Americans across the nation have felt. And that's exactly why we've seen the turnout of the election like we did.
I've got more cows and corn for neighbors than people. And every single one of those people felt this economy in the worst of ways. And that's not a lie or a charade or a mirage. I appreciate the fact that he didn't take over from COVID and just drive us so far on the ground that now we're socialists. But man, he sure tried. And thankfully, thanks to that trickle-down economics, I guess, thanks to the fact that this country is incredibly resilient, even in the face of bad policy and expensive energy, we've hung around. And now we've reelected President Trump. In a time when almost every election across the country, from Texas to Georgia to New York, looks 50-50, and it looks like it's won in the margins, President Trump won in a resounding victory. He won all 7 swing states. He won the popular vote. And to me, that's a bigger move than if a Democrat won it, because Republicans haven't winning it. Those people didn't vote because they think that the economy might be bad. They voted that way because they have not had money in their pockets. I don't know if President Trump can fix that, but Joe Biden didn't fix it. There's no evidence that Joe Biden fixed it.
Judge, a lot of people will never forget that when they couldn't afford gas and groceries, Joe Biden was out there doling out green energy subsidies to his friends and asking taxpayers to bail out the student loans of doctors and lawyers.
Yeah. And honestly, I hope the next administration looks at the billions that went into green energy. Who got the money? Why did they get the money? Was there any success? Maybe we ought to start suing them if they weren't successful. I believe in that. I'm a lawyer. And by the way, you're in Georgia. You have more corn and cows for neighbors. Can you bring corn the next time you come back from Georgia? All right. Now, I think it's ironic that Joe Biden is taking a victory lap on economics, which was the issue that he lost on. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense, but the man's delusional. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. Look, when Trump was leaving, unemployment was coming down. And by the way, when you talked about unemployment, you talked about more jobs. Did you discount the 800,000 jobs that they overcounted and lied about? I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Mentioned revisions.
Yeah, thank you. You did? Good.
Yeah,
all right.
Glad you were listening.
$7 trillion of taxpayer money went into the economy. And that was only because of the $1.9 trillion, I should say, that they never conceded and they won't acknowledge that created the inflation, which peaked 17 months into the Biden administration term. That's when it peaked. It peaked because of their policies. And finally, Hochul, I mean, she's an idiot. I'm sorry. That's not very nice, but you are. I mean, now you want to give away money? I mean, you just figure this out? I mean, she's like slow on the draw, very slow. That's it.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Judge Jeanine simply telling it how it is. Kathy Hochul, that New York governor, just finally catching on that folks need a little bit of assistance at the grocery store. I mean, come on, now you're getting on board. Absolutely crazy. And then that Jessica Tarlov, I'm just trying to figure it out. How could anyone on earth possibly defend a record this bad? I mean, the things they'll go and they'll make up, they'll say in order to cover up for this, guys. Absolutely. It should be studied, the way they try to cover up and make light of this whole Biden situation, his administration, his term, because it was failed. It was failed at the end of the day, no matter how they try to dress it up. But the way the links they'll go to cover up for this guy needs to be documented and researched, guys. Definitely up in the comment section, though. Let me know your thoughts. What can you make of all of this? Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one. We